Hi guys, welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. Well, I asked and you answered. What case or cases did you want to hear me yammer on about tonight? I mentioned the Watts, Gypsy Rose, Sarah Boone, or a brand spanking new case. And you said D, all of the above. So I'm here with all of the above. The brand new case we're going to be diving into is the Maddie Soto case. Who can resist a captivating Florida woman and or man case? The Sarah Boone case provided us with an abundance of fascinating Florida woman shenanigans, while the Soto case seems to veer more towards a classic Florida man scenario, especially with the involvement of the slangy boyfriend slash stepfather character, Stephen Stearns. But I digress. Let's roll some credits and get this Friday night edition of Parawomen Radio rolling. Shout out to my replay crew and all our new channel subscribers and dragonflies. Hello, my loves. I see you.
Devil is drumming his old guitar again. Words rolling out into our fire. If heaven had wings, I would steal them and fly away with you for a while. Hearing the essence of gratitude, your dreamy little smile on my lips. I miss my cue. Devil is drumming his old guitar again. Words rolling out into our fire. If heaven had wings, I would steal them and fly away with you for a while. Hearing the essence of gratitude, your dreamy little smile on my lips. I miss my cue, but baby, I had you. Miss my cue, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you.
Here in the essence of gratitude, I'm so happy to be here with you on this Friday night. Had a little hiccup there. Sorry, had to reboot and come back in. So sorry about that hiccup during the intro. Okay, how's everyone doing tonight? I am really excited because I am like almost completed with having my studio together. I am sitting here in a half a studio. I think by Wednesday I will be back on camera. I was playing with my lights today and my setup, so I'm getting very close. And so I'm really excited to be back and be able to have a studio. Sheesh. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about a bunch of different cases. Kind of shot myself in the foot. I asked, like, what cases do you guys want to hear? And you guys really voted for me, so thank you so much. But I kind of like fell short, I feel, because the last one that I asked was, do you want a new case and or do you want all of the cases? And a lot of you voted for that one. So I don't know if you meant, do you want a new case totally, or do you want me to cover all the cases, or did you want a new case and all the cases? So we're doing the D. We're doing all of the cases really quickly and plus the new case. So I thought tonight we would start out with the Sarah Boone, kick it off with seeing what shenanigans Miss Boone is up to. Hello, Edie. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Let me get my screen together. I had everything all set, but because I had to go out and come back in, it's not. So let me get my screen shared for you, and we'll get going. Okay. All right. So today we're coming to you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hi, everyone. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up wherever you're at and share it onto the platform you're on. It helps us dance out into the algorithm, party out there, bring more fun people back to the party. I mean, last month we had nearly 600 new subscribers. So, something's working, and I really appreciate everyone being here, and I'm really happy to see all of you. Hello, Conspiracy Realist. How are you? Okay, so Sarah Boone, just a quick update of who the Sarah Boone case is. Sarah Boone is the Florida woman who zipped her boyfriend up into a suitcase, Torres, and proceeded to pass out, and George was unalived. So Sarah went through this long process of a trial that took her about 5 years and 50 lawyers, and Sarah Boone is now off into prison, but she continues her shenanigans because she's Sarah Boone. I mean, she's Sarah Boone. But I thought it'd be fun to look at. Sarah Boone loves to write her letters. She's a letter writer, and she's often running to writing her letters again. I missed this letter she had wrote this letter in Court TV covered Suitcase Sarah Boone sent another letter. Who is her attorney? Oh, sorry, that's not the right one. This is the one I want to share first. We're going to do that one next. We're going to look at the retired Judge Larry Seidlin. He reacted to one of Sarah Boone's letters, and I missed this. This was about a month ago, and I wanted to take a quick peek at it.
Our top story for you.
So what we do here is we'll play, watch, read, go over a lot of content, and I will often speed it up, slow it down, talk over it. I do this for fair play use.
Now, let's get to our top story.
I do this for fair play use, and also I do it to cite. But I'm distracted. Let me get my mind where I am. I do this for fair play use, but I will put the link to everything we view in the YouTube show notes. And we do this for fair play use, but we also do it to cite our sources. And also I realize sometimes you don't want me starting, talking over. And so if you just want to go watch the link that I found, the research that I've done, I get it. And it's all there for you guys. It's in the YouTube show notes. Or sometimes it's called the YouTube description. Okay, so this is a judge reacting to Sarah's shenanigans.
For you, we have more on that. Shocking letter convicted killer Sarah Boone hand wrote to the Honorable Michael Kranick. She blatantly disrespects him, writing in part.
So are you asking Waka Flocka Fool is asking, are the letters good enough for an insanity plea? No, I don't think. I don't know. If Sarah Boone, this is just my opinion too. I mean, I only have a year. I'm an ex-social worker. I took a year off of social work and I tried to be a legal secretary, and I realized that I am actually somebody who needs a secretary myself. So that didn't work out for me, but I did kind of like dip my toe into the legal field. And my gut tells me that if Sarah gets any kind of appeal or a new trial or anything like that, it will be regarding the lawyer situation where she was given repeated lawyer after lawyer. But some of the lawyers, there was like a conflict of interest and they wouldn't have been able to represent her anyway. So I think, and this is just my opinion. I don't, I'm not legal in any way, that will be how Miss Boone, if she does, that will be the way she gets a new whatever.
Quote, I was hoping to have been graced with your forgiveness, understanding, and consideration in any level or degree. For me, unfortunately, and regardless of when I spoke on my...
She was hoping for that after her grand finale of the cherry she placed on top of her shit sundae that she gave us. Are you kidding me? Her closing, her outro, her mic drop. Yeah, right. Right.
Behalf or the number of your ignorant mind was already made up. She goes on to say, by your clear error and full-blown unfair bias against me, since your involvement in my crucible case as a whole, I've been unsuccessful in receiving anything from you as a supposed fair and neutral judge, except for your wish that I spend the rest of my life in prison.
Do you think Sarah Boone has access to ChatGPT? I'm positive that she uses that now. I'm just like absolutely positive because her sentences are just run-on sentences of thoughts that don't go together. But maybe this is Sarah Boone's mind. I don't know.
Please know and always remember, Mr. Cranick, I forgive you. Boone ends the letter by writing, quote, I am not a murderer, I am a survivor. Now, I said 28 pages, there was a lot in there, and we have a very special guest joining us to unpack it and react to this horrific note. Retired Judge Larry Seidlin on the show. Judge, good morning. Wonderful to have you back out.
Hi, Marianne.
Opening statements. May I start with your...
Good morning, Julie. I'm retired as a judge, but I'm working hard.
We know you are. We know you are. And I know many
of... I'm working hard as a lawyer. I represent a lot of... Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Judge. We have a little bit of a delay, so I want to tell everybody if it sounds a little bit off. That's why, just the technology. And so many people...
I wanted to say something about this delay thing. In my last live that I did on Sarah Boone, we went over another channel, Carrie Culture's interview that she did with one of Sarah Boone's ex-neighbors. And there was another creator on that. So there was Carrie Cultures, there was Tyler, the neighbor, and then there was another creator. And then there was me that was kind of like listening to it, commentating on the interview. A lot of people thought that I was the one conducting the interview, and I was not conducting the interview. But also, and they were upset because they were interrupting Tyler. But there's often, I was thinking about it, there's often a time delay. Sometimes even when I have guests here or I collaborate with people, there's like a slight time delay, and it takes a minute to fall into step with that. And then if you get out of step, then you start talking over the person, and it sounds like you're talking over the person, but the person isn't actually talking yet. So it's like, I think maybe that was happening with the interview. But anyway, I did want to clear that up with you guys because there were a lot of comments. I've just finally stopped replying I wasn't doing the interview. So because there's so many of them. But I do think that maybe that's why it was happening. And also it's hard, when I have guests on, I don't like to have more. I mean, there was only 3 of them up there, but I don't like to do more than 4 people because it can get really where people will talk over one another. And even with 3 people, it can kind of get a game, especially if there's a delay in somebody's feed. So there's that.
remember you presiding over the Anna Nicole Simpson case, and so you rose to fame, and you've been beloved by so many across the country ever since.
Hi, Anna.
Could we talk a little bit about Ms. Sarah Boone in Florida? What are your thoughts on this letter and how she blames and disrespects the judge?
Okay, apparently this is an ex-judge, not one of her judges. I misspoke, sorry.
Well, she writes this 28-page letter. You remember Shakespeare's Hamlet with Ophelia giving all these soliloquies. This woman is a full-fledged nut. The judge is not going to read the whole 28 pages because as a judge, you don't want to absorb the pain of these people. You don't want to wear yourself out. You don't want to get tired. So you read a few pages and then you turn to the sports section or the news. You don't want to, it's the ramblings of a nut, the musings of a mentally ill person.
I mean, I have to admit, when I read Sarah's letters, my mind wanders. Like, because they're just, it's rambling, but I think it's ChatGPT.
So there's no way I'm reading those 28 pages unless it's a love letter from my daughter Dax. I'm not reading.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so this judge is saying that there's no way that he is reading all of the letters and he's an ex-judge. That's kind of like alarming. You kind of hope that the judges do read stuff because not every convict is Sarah Boone, and I mean, he is paid to read it, so I'm gonna go with I hope he's reading it, even if it is on and on and on and on dribble. Let's keep going.
I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
So then it's like, we decide to play hide and seek, right? Okay. So he gets in the suitcase. The problem is I fell asleep.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information.
Let's talk about what's trending in true crime. Sarah Boone appearing very anxious for the...
I am so happy Sarah Boone's been trending. We've been covering Sarah Boone for a long time, and it took a hot minute for her case to start picking up, but I am so happy that you guys are interested in Sarah Boone.
Next phase of her court case, as she's filed a formal motion with the court asking what attorney is handling her appeal. You'll recall she was convicted of murder after leaving her boyfriend George Torres in...
So I know Tanika's 2 Cents is a channel that covers Sarah Boone, and I did see her like talking about like, ooh, she needs to get her appeal in soon, and we knew that was starting to happen, and we were like, why isn't Sarah Boone writing letters? Well,
side of a suitcase.
She is.
To die. Take a look at the document. Look and notice this time it's not a handwritten motion like we've seen in the past from her. It's all typed up. She signed it there as well. The clerk responded to her saying that attorney Joshua Adams has been appointed to represent her for her appeal. But at this time, no notice of appeal has been filed. Now, Sarah Boone apparently isn't happy. She's saying she's not in the know, asking what's going on. Where's her...
I think Sarah Boone is in for a very rude awakening. I don't think, well, for one, we all know that the appeals go at the speed of a snail. So she's in for a long, long, long ride of nothing, in my prediction, unless she gets some kind of Hail Mary. Because Sarah Boone didn't even have to have life in prison. I mean, she basically shot herself in the foot and gave herself life by her behavior after what she did. If she had taken some kind of accountability and maybe the plea deal, the sweet 15-year plea deal, Sarah Boone would be out in 7 years, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that, because of the 85% rule. So Sarah Boone did this to herself. Sarah Boone, you did this to yourself. So Sarah Boone now is like, where's my attorney? I've got this to do. Is Florida ready for Sarah Boone? I don't even know. Like, one Florida county is like, whoo, she's out. She's gone. Orange County is like, goodbye, Sarah Boone. They probably like had a ticker tape parade down the Central Street. She's gone. Woo! And now Lowell, well, she's at the prison, the intake center, but it's Lowell and it's all put together. And she's at the Florida Women's Intake Center, and they're probably like, oh, who did they send us? Although I think once they get to prison's a whole nother ball of wax. They're like, yeah, we're not playing like they did in jail. We're not playing.
Her attorney. So let's talk about Sarah Boone and why she hasn't been able to make contact with this attorney yet. I want to bring in Court TV digital content producer Lauren Silver to talk about this. Lauren, good morning. Always great to see you. We say you're a resident expert on the Sarah Boone case, as you're always following what she's filing and the moves she's making. So what did you think when you saw this latest motion filed?
I mean, I was shocked it wasn't handwritten. She has beautiful penmanship, and she is known for writing letters. The other part of this motion is that it says that she's filing it pro se, even though she acknowledges in the motion that she has been given an appellate attorney. She correctly names him Joshua Adams and says that I haven't heard from him. So where is my attorney? Well, she answered her own question. She has an attorney. My guess is that she's out and hasn't heard back and is frustrated. That is a theme we've certainly seen from her before.
Right. Oh, yeah, she has.
This is just more of her same old. She's been given an attorney. He's just not jumping at Sarah Boone's speed.
I said in one of my predictions I made for 2025, Lauren, you know this, I said, we haven't heard the last of Sarah Boone. We're going to hear her being very vocal from prison. And speaking of, has she moved?
She has. So now she's in the prison system. She had been in the Orange County jail for over 4 years. This month will be 5 years since George was killed. So she had been in jail for a very long time. She was then moved to the Florida Women's Reception Center, which I take it as sort of like where you go before you get moved to a more permanent area. And now she has been moved to Ocala, Florida, which is a little bit northwest of Orlando. So she has a home for now, at least.
Right. She does, where she can complain. And, the complaining's become kind of...
We did cover that, and I will put the link down in the description. I want to move on. I did see that our good friend Emily D. Baker is going over the Sarah Boone, so I thought we'd take a look at a lawyer and see what they have to say about this appeal.
Those costs will be attributed to the Commonwealth, amongst other motions. We are going to hear a bit more about the motion to dismiss, though it won't be filed yet. And the court's going to try to use that court time on Thursday to make sure that discovery is done. The Commonwealth said they should be done with discovery, but I think the main issue we're going to hear about Thursday...
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Karen Reed. No. Where's Sarah Boone?
Brief period of time represented herself, but even y'all. For those of you that did not follow along, the Sarah Boone case was a trial that I covered at the end of 2024 that took place in Florida. She was accused and then convicted of the second-degree murder of her boyfriend, who she zipped into a suitcase and left there, and was subsequently sentenced to life in Florida and is now beginning the process of appeal. Sarah Boone, for a brief period of time, represented herself, but even when she didn't, definitely was not hesitant to go ahead and tell the court what she was thinking. And she actually reached out to the clerk of court to say, hey, why haven't I heard from my appointed appellate attorney yet? So even though Sarah Boone is not technically representing herself because appellate counsel was appointed, Sarah Boone typed up a letter to the court saying, excuse me, why have I not heard from my appellate counsel? Sarah Boone says, quote, the last entry on the docket in the case shows that Joshua Adams ESQ was appointed to represent the defendant on December 18th. By defendant, she means herself. However, she has not received any correspondence from him, and her application of indigence to be appointed an appellate attorney was not filed with this court until December 23rd. So on January 20th, 2025, Sarah Boone was like, yo, what's going on? That wouldn't be unusual, except the clerk of court responded, which raised some questions. On January 29th, the clerk of court responded to Sarah Boone and said, in response to your correspondence dated January 21st, 2025, the following applied. Attorney Joshua Adams has been appointed to represent you for appeal. However, at this time, no notice of appeal is on file. The reason it matters is because her sentence became final on December 2nd. You could say maybe within a few days of that before it's officially recorded, but the deadline to file notice of appeal within 30 days is a pretty stringent deadline. And it's generally trial counsel that will file the notice of appeal, even if appellate counsel can, because notice of appeal is literally that. It's a placeholder. It's a, hey, we're appealing. It's a very standard and pro forma yo-yo, we're appealing. And so for the court to respond and say, by the way, we haven't received a notice of appeal outside of that 30-day deadline does raise some interesting questions. So when I went back to look at the docket as I was recording, what I found is that there is a December 18th notice of appeal that was filed by her trial counsel. This was filed by her trial attorney, James Owens, and the e-filing stamp shows December 18th at 4:58 p.m. So I don't know if this got lost, if this got digitally sent elsewhere, but I found it on the docket and took a look. The sentencing, they say Sarah Boone appeals to the District Court of Appeal on December 2nd from the sentence and judgment. So this notice of appeal was filed. If it is a clerk error or a filing error, that's not going to be charged against her. However, I imagine that getting that notice back from the clerk of court is not going to be Sarah Boone's favorite, but it is probably not going to be a large issue. But the docket now has a note that says received by the clerk on January 31st, 2025. But the docket also shows that it was filed on December 18th. I think this is likely a digital error. I don't think a court is going to say there was a digital error, you're out.
Now, I'm pretty sure Tanika's 2 cents covered this, and because she was on top of this. I don't remember what the outcome is. I just knew that it was found. So I just assumed it was lost and found. Does anyone know?
Side of the time frame, especially since that docketed item by Attorney Owens has the docketing stamp at the top that you saw from December 18th. So I think it is probably a technical error, and that's going to be charged to the court, even if it's technically nobody's fault and is just one of those technical glitches. It's not going to prevent Sarah Boone from being able to appeal. I mean, she's probably going to be pissed, and we're probably going to see another note from her to the court.
We hope
But
so.
I hope that her appellate counsel, clearly being on notice that she is wanting to be very communicative, will hopefully reach out to her and let her know that her appeal is not going to be forestalled because of this. But I saw a lot of questions, and one of the things I like to do is try to answer those questions for you. So we will see Sarah Boone's appeal, I'm sure, moving forward, and we will probably see some more notes to the court from Sarah.
And we will keep an eye out for all of that. We're going to move on to the Gypsy Rose case. We haven't talked about her in a hot minute, like 2-3 weeks, because I get so irritated by this case and all the infighting, and she's just a nightmare and a mess. And so Gypsy Rose Blanchard is the woman who unalived her mother by using a disabled man. She served, I think, 8 to 10 years in prison, and her co-defendant is in there for life. So somehow she finagled it with her deception and got out, and he's in there for life, and she's constantly doing something. Yes, Gypsy drives me absolutely crazy. I actually have to take mental health breaks from the Gypsy Rose case. We've been covering it for a long time, but I don't really get into the fighting or anything like that. I try to stick with the case, but a lot of right now what's happening is fighting. So when I was talking about, I put up a poll, and thank you guys so much for participating and answering my polls. The first one I did was like, what case do you want to go over tonight? And also I put up a poll that if you wouldn't mind voting on what new cases do you want me to start covering. I had the Madeline Soto, Julia Enright, Treehouse Mistress Schmurders, the Kurt Cobain Red Rum Conspiracy. I'm so happy that you guys are interested in this one. I've been doing a lot of research on this and talking to other content creators and getting some collabs together for this. It's the Kurt Cobain case is starting to heat up, and the Brian Koberger case. So if you wouldn't mind voting on these, that would help me out a lot. But you voted today on who you wanted to talk about tonight. And one of you mentioned in the comments that, and I didn't know this, that Sarah says, I am so sick of Gypsy and all the negativity that comes around her case. Now she's apparently going to the Super Bowl? Must be nice to travel around on parole and have zero consequences for her actions ever. And I was like, Super Bowl? She's going to the Super Bowl? Man, this girl gets around. And so I said, where did you see she was going to the Super Bowl? Just looked around and didn't see anything. I kept looking all day long. I started to see a few things about the Super Bowl for a hot second. So I thought we would take a look at that. So remember last year when she got out of prison, she wanted to go to the Super Bowl in Missouri, and she was told, no, take your butt to Louisiana. You can't do it, and there was that big thing where she cried and sobbed. They were picking on Gypsy Rose. She was just an innocent schmurderer who plotted and planned her own mother's murder, but she did time. She served her time. So we all need to just give her our money and just shut up, or something like that. But anyway, she decided to throw a fit about it and wasn't able to go to the Super Bowl. Well, apparently now that the Super Bowl is in Louisiana, she's planning to go, or rumored. This is all my opinion and my research, and everything's alleged and for entertainment and educational purposes only. So hi, Just Being Real. You've never seen anyone like Gypsy? Occasionally people plow through here that like her, very rarely. I always think it's either her or one of her bots. But yeah, I had someone yell at me today to leave her alone. Leave Gypsy Rose alone. Well, I want to just stand over Gypsy's shoulder and say, leave your mother alone. Oh, it's too late for that. Okay, so here is what I found about the Super Bowl. Let me make sure you're seeing it. So I have to silence this. This one says, realizing Gypsy Rose couldn't go to the Super Bowl last year because her parole was in Louisiana, and now the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Did they do it just for her, low key? And I guess the Super Bowl is this Sunday. So it's not confirmed that I haven't been able to confirm.
And the D is
what she's planning on.
And the D.
This was last year, Super Bowl. Also, there's huge rumors about Gypsy Rose apparently showing fake babies to the internet, trying to flesh out a spy in her midst, trying to see if, because her baby picture has been put out there. It hasn't been put out. Everyone who has seen it has put a black blob over the baby's face. The creators have been respectful, or at least I haven't seen the baby's face. Everyone's saying that the baby's face looks like Ryan, of course, but also say that the baby looks like Dee Dee and Ryan looks like Dee Dee. So there's that. There's always the sticky, ooey gooey mess with Gypsy Rose. It's never just ugh. Oh, you're driving? Drive safe, honey. we will never leave Gypsy Rose alone until she goes away. Amen to that. She shouldn't have made her mom go away, so we're going to make her go away, especially to keep her from our younger generations. I hope we succeed. I really do. I don't believe she had a baby all for the show. Oh, you don't think there's even a baby? I think there is a baby, but whose baby it is, I don't know. And I don't know. And I still think we're going to see the baby. I think she's going to start showing the baby after Lifetime premieres, whatever it's going to premiere, and then we'll start seeing the baby. I don't believe for a second that she's going to keep that baby from us and not make money off of it. Although it sounds like to me that Ken probably doesn't want the baby being shown. And so as long as she's with Ken, she's going to like do whatever Ken wants, because Ken is the prize pig in all of this for whatever reason. Ken is who she wants and he's the prize pig. And so she's doing what she needs to do to keep Ken right now, I think. And that includes not showing the baby. I don't think Ken wants to show the baby. So, although Ken has really been showing his true colors lately, but I do believe that. So Gypsy Rose baby's photo leaked, fake baby, real photo. This channel called Conspiracy came out, really great channel, came out and kind of broke it all down.
Interview. Once she is born, did nobody hear that? Once she is born, we will not post her on social media.
Just leave Aurora alone. She's got nothing to do with this. She's a 1-month-old baby, for God's sakes.
To respect her privacy, we're trying to keep her as private as we possibly can. I was like, no, we're not announcing. We're not. Why? Like our family, our friends know. Why does the world have to know? It wasn't until he's like, I just want to post a picture on my Instagram, and I'm like, okay.
No, she lied about being sick, and she shows no kind of pregnancy or no signs. But Gypsy Rose isn't a normal human being. She shows no signs of having unalived her mother. I mean, we're putting our normal thoughts and feelings, like what we would normally do, into a person that is completely abnormal. So there's that. But I mean, if you don't believe there's a baby, I'm not gonna. I don't care if people don't believe what I believe, and I'm okay with disagreeing. Because Gypsy Rose, there's so much. If you ever came and we're like, I know 100% this is this, you would have to 100% show me 100% truth, because Gypsy Rose case is so sketchy with everything. Everything is sketchy with her, and she likes it that way.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard posted this picture and said it was her sweet little Aurora.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is in hot water again. Ever since she gave birth to her daughter Aurora on December 28th, there's been no shortage of drama. Some people speculating that there's not a baby at all, people questioning the paternity of the baby, and just overall wondering if Gypsy will be a good mom. So what's going on right now? Well, apparently a photo has been posted from an account allegedly linked to Gypsy of a baby that's not hers. Sir Morbid X was sent a leaked photo that actually is Gypsy's baby, and Ken has responded to this on a live stream with Bree. So let's go over everything. So first, we're going to go over the fake baby allegedly posted by Gypsy on this Lemon 8 account. Now, this post has since been deleted, with some people believing this actually is Gypsy and some saying it's a fake account. So this is the original post, and the caption read, "My sweet Aurora baby has blonde hair." These are some of the comments left under that post, and I believe this person is either a family or a friend to Gypsy. The account is called Say the Truth, and they wrote, "That sure isn't the baby you sent to your nannies and showed me her. So why are you lying on here? Are you lying to your nanny, but the picture you sent her looks just like your mother? So why would you be posting a picture of another baby? You are really sick and you need help. Stop lying for once in your life." Then they comment, "Do you want your nanny to post the real picture?" Then we had another person leave a comment that says, "Quick image search determined that's a lie. No surprise from you. That's baby. Also, your nails ain't done, nor are your fingers that big, honey bun." So apparently this person did a reverse image search on this picture of this baby Gypsy posted, and it was actually someone else's baby who named their child Gypsy Rose. So when you search Gypsy Rose like baby contest, this picture of this baby pops up, and allegedly this kid is now 5 years old. So why are people convinced?
So when I heard this, I was like, oh, geez, come on. For pity's sake, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Thankfully, Conspiracy has cleared this up. There is this Lemon8 account that is connected to TikTok, and it appeared that Gypsy Rose had connected a Lemon8 account when TikTok was going to be going bye-bye and no more. So people thought that the Gypsy Rose account was connected, the Lemon8, except it has been found out that the Lemon8 account is actually connected to this account. You can see, let me get it over here.
Of this Lemon8 account, you'll see that gypsyrose.tiktok is linked to this Lemon8 profile. That is Gypsy's real TikTok. But according to Keish, it is possible to link to a TikTok account that is not yours. So this profile is not Gypsy and has linked to.
So you can link your Lemon8 account to a different account. It doesn't have to be your TikTok account. So there is fake Gypsy Rose accounts out there, and a fake Gypsy Rose account has linked the Lemon8 account. So it's basically one of the fake Gypsy Rose accounts.
Gypsy's main account to make it appear as if it's Gypsy. So who is running this fake Gypsy Rose Blanchard Lemon8 profile? Well, a TikTok user by the name of Mushu has a theory, and here's what she found out. On the right-hand side of the screen is a screenshot of the Lemon8 profile that shared the photo of the baby. And at the very top, highlighted in yellow, you can see that the username is Gypsy Rose _TikTok. On the left-hand side is Gypsy Rose actual TikTok account. Her username there is gypsyrose.tiktok. As I explained previously, when you first create a Lemon8 profile, your TikTok and Lemon8 become merged together. So your username from TikTok carries over to the Lemon8 platform. So we know that this Lemon8 account was not created from Gypsy's large platform where she has around 9 million followers. And you can only change your username on Lemon8 by also changing your TikTok username that's linked to that Lemon8 profile. So who could be running this Lemon8 account? Well, for those of you who don't know, there is another TikTok account that looks very similar to Gypsy's, and its username is Cajun Heart of Mine and Gypsy Rose _TikTok, just like the Lemon8 profile. So while this account does look similar to Gypsy's and have a same username, this account is not Gypsy and appears to be the account running the Lemon8 profile. Now, she also made a post addressing this where she wrote, "So apparently that isn't baby Aurora posted on Lemon8, but she trying to blame me. TF, okay, Jip Jip." So in my opinion, this Cajun Heart of Mine TikTok account that is not Gypsy is the one that created the Lemon8 profile. TikTok and Lemon8 share a unified login, which basically means that you have to log in to Lemon8 from the TikTok account that you used to create the profile. So these two accounts having the same exact username kind of proves that it is her running that account and not Gypsy. That's just my opinion and what I found out. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments. Sir Morbid X did a live stream last night, and his thumbnail on the left-hand side is a photo that someone from Gypsy's inner circle sent him that actually is Gypsy's baby. Now, shortly after Morbid's live, Ken joined Bree's live to discuss the leaking of this photo, and Gypsy posted this on her Instagram stories. Gypsy wrote, "It has come to my attention that fake Gypsy accounts are posting pictures of random babies with the intent to gain followers and views. I will not be posting pictures of my daughter, nor would I post pictures of other babies. Please be cautious of what Gypsy accounts you follow and receive information."
She tries to make it seem so crazy, like, I would never do that. I mean, I've done all this other crazy shit, but I'd never do that. I mean, right. Okay, so let's keep going. Straight Out of Context posted a good video. Gypsy Rose is boring, and let's break it down why. I thought this would be a good video to close up the Gypsy Rose segment with.
Context. We're going to talk about the Gypsy Rose update. What has Gypsy Rose Blanchard been up to since giving birth to?
Oh, so ESG said, I heard she's not going to the Super Bowl, but she's going tonight to some Post Malone concert. I quickly Googled Post Malone Gypsy Rose over on TikTok, and I'm not seeing anything yet pop up about it. So, okay, drive safe. Thanks for being here. Yeah, but I can, yeah, right? Yeah, but I can hurt my mom. Okay, so she's talking about how her relevancy is starting to falter. That's why I didn't feel the need to really talk about her for a couple weeks. There's just a lot of fighting, but it's a lot of fighting between the creators and a lot of stuff coming out about creators being fake and false and like just as bad as Gypsy Rose. And and I kind of shy away from that kind of stuff. I think it's important to to be aware of what's happening, and we're going to talk about it briefly, but I don't really go deep into the fighting. So
to her first child on December 28th of 2024. Well, being a mom. And as hard of work as being a mom truly is,
Gypsy loves to give us these photos like, oh, I'm sweating it out as a mom. Look at me. Mom life. Oh, God.
Selfless. Tiring. You're unappreciated. You're not paid. You're not acknowledged. And you're certainly not going to get accolades, right? For being a good mom.
She wants the accolades.
No good mom ever does. It's just the way of the world, the way of humanity. But this is what she's posting. Look at me. This is me, myself, and I. It's saying, hey, I'm boring now. I don't have any good content. But I got to keep you guys reminded that I exist in the world because I want to be a celebrity so bad. But I don't want to do the work of action.
She's got that weird drapiness. This is a drapey thing. This is supposed to be draped off the shoulder, and this is drapey. And so she's also showing that she's lost a lot of weight too. She's like showing her thin legs, I think, through this. It's just, it's given too much.
Actually producing any real content. They think that lame reality show is content. But you know, what would any of us actually know about content? Gypsy's the queen of making content, right? Because she's got a Lifetime reality show. Yeah, we didn't know nothing about that. Sorry, my blood sugar was getting really low and I was hungry. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, of course, always keeps her comments turned off. And that is because she can't control the comments. She can't control what people actually think. So why are you posting on the internet at all? Because if you can't handle what people have to say, or you're not going to be receptive to people having their own opinions.
She's posting on the internet for money.
And thoughts. And you're not going to educate with kindness or educate with fact and truth.
Or education.
So why are you on the internet to begin with? Because all it is pure documentation of what you say and do and what you post. And that's forever. You know what they say? The internet.
But she's sort of proven that she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She will continue to do it. She will continue to do it and hope we forget and move on. It's what everybody that does effed up stuff does. They don't care. They just keep it moving. And this is what Gypsy Rose does. That's why I'm not even sure if it even matters. Because I just feel like Gypsy Rose is like a cockroach. She's just going to be there. I don't know.
It's written in ink. Forget the old paper and pencil routine, right? Yeah, the internet is actually in fucking permanent marker. And that is fundamentally the truth about the internet. But it's not like, hey, I just have this private account just to share updates with my friends and my family. That's what text messages and private DMs and phone calls. Yeah, you know, like back in the day, we used to actually like call our friends and call our family, and we used to like talk to them like, oh my God, like regular people. Like we would actually.
Well, how would she keep her friends updated? I mean,
like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a couple days. I wanted to see how you were doing because I love you and I care about you and I'm a good human and I really want to know how you're doing, right? Like we used to do that. You don't share private, personal information with your private family and friends via interwebs. No. This is purely a look at me, remember me, because I need attention. I need to be fed in some kind of fundamental way. But look at this. She's like a day late and a dollar short again. It has come to my attention that fake Gypsy accounts are posting pictures of random babies with the intent to gain followers and views. I will not be posting pictures of my daughter. What does she do? She does what she always does. And it's not because People Magazine follow her on Instagram or People Magazine follow her on TikTok and she posts these little Easter eggs via a 24-hour story, which automatically deletes with absolutely no comments. Because she doesn't want the mainstream media like People Magazine or TMZ to actually see what the comments say, even though they do. Right here. She is giving this to People Magazine. For somebody who wants privacy, it's just like, I don't know, reminiscent of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry saying the whole, I want privacy, I want privacy, I want privacy. But then they sell privacy to Netflix for a $100 million contract, of which they don't produce much of anything. But all of this, yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yeah, baby.
That all earns her money, though. That's all money, money, money in her hot little pocket. So, yeah. So all the rumors and the infighting, Into the Weeds podcast, and I'm so happy that they have finally gotten monetized, has been doing wonderful interviews with fellow creators that I think you might be interested in. She has done them with 1980 Millennial, Toddy One Skip, Becca Scoops. But the one that, and she's done Justice for Dee Dee. I'm so happy that more people are doing Justice for Dee Dee videos. We have quite a few Dee Dee videos showing that Dee Dee was a decent human being, a flawed one, but a decent one. So the one that I wanted to look at tonight really quickly was the Pink Hat Sarah one. This is one that Amber and Alora, this is Into the Weeds podcast, Toddy One Skip, and they invited this woman named Sarah on that went and took Fancy Maselli to the Missouri hearing. Apparently Gypsy Rose was trying to sue another content creator. She had been given her medical records, and that content creator released them to the public, and there was this lawsuit that happened, which I think the lawsuit's going to happen again. They just filed it in the wrong state. One of Fancy's, I don't know, team members, I don't know what to call her, drove her down there, and Amber and Alora also went. They were new to podcasting, and I remember Amber saying to me that she just, she was really excited. She thought it'd be a good experience, a good adventure. I would have probably jumped on it too, in hindsight, thinking about it, but totally glad. Like I tried to jump on some things with the Gypsy Rose case when it first started, and I'm so happy that that jump didn't work for me because anyway, they made that jump. They got drugged a little bit, but this Sarah woman was accused of kidnapping Fancy. Like, she filed a police report and said that Sarah kidnapped her and drove her down to her court date. I mean, I can't even hardly say it with drove her to the court date and kidnapped her. So finally, I think Fancy's days are numbered. But Fancy is another person that I don't think will go away either. I think she's going to like hang out and just hope we forget about stuff. But anyway, Sarah's here, and she is telling them about that adventure, because there was also the thing where they filed the police report with Gypsy's lawyer, and some other guy said that they attacked them, which they did. The lawyers didn't attack them. So they've got this false police report they're dealing with. And then in response, on top of it, Fancy filed the police report saying, did she actually file the report? I don't even know that for sure, if she actually filed a report against Sarah. But anyway, she did say that Sarah kidnapped her. So let's take a quick peek at it. And be sure to give this live a thumbs up, guys. Helps us go out into the algorithm. Bring more people back. It's just a free way to help me out. How Hi, Mandy. How are you? I don't know much about Fancy, but Fancy is showing some not so good colors lately. Fancy is crazier. I always liked that Fancy was a bit of a loose cannon. I like that about her. I like that she was like willing to show who, just be out there. I thought it made her look bad a lot, but but now it's not looking so good for Fancy. I haven't really been following it too much, but I just have a feeling that it's going to get worse for her.
And recording, and then maybe edit like this part.
Let's go forward.
The issue with the
No, you can't see Sarah in this, so she's just talking. So this is and you guys probably all know this, but this is Amber, this is Alora, this is Toddy, and then Sarah's out in the ethers talking.
What is it where she gets drunk?
Auto brewery
syndrome. Auto brewery syndrome. So, to be honest, and I heard this from her former partner, Brandy, is that the reason why she doesn't drive is the fact that she does not have a valid driver's license.
Okay.
And I've never seen her driver's license, so I can't confirm that or not. But it's like anytime she had.
I've actually just kind of stopped paying attention to her. I actually, in doing this research, I went over to TikTok and I tried to find her, and I can't find the Good Wives Network. I don't know what. And then I found her, but it only has like 9 subscribers. So I don't even know where she is, to be honest with you. I stopped watching her. I stopped watching her right around this time when they went and did this whole trip. And I was like, why are people giving her all this money? She's staying. Anyway, not my business. That's what I say when I get angry about stuff. Not my business. You do what you want with your money.
Wallet out or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm polite and I kind of step away from someone because I don't want to be all up in their business.
Mm-hmm.
But she did always make everything very hidden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of jumping ahead, so I'm so sorry about this, and we can put a pin in it if we need to. I just know if I don't say it, I'll totally forget. If she doesn't have a valid driver's license, there was a comment that you had made, I believe it was in the Uncorked with Brandy video, stating that she may have used some of the funds that she got through the donations for weed. And in Missouri, you have to show a legal driver's license in order to get
a valid ID.
A valid ID.
Yeah, she has an ID.
She has a driver's license.
Yeah.
She has a state
Okay.
ID.
Good question, though.
Yeah, we can talk more about that specific later. I just had that in my head, wanted to get it out. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, so tell us how it came about that you specifically drove Fancy or April.
So, I didn't have the money for the trip, and my health, was not good. I had just found out the week before that I had leukemia.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so she was
Freeze frame.
sick. She had.
Here's what she did.
Cancer.
She's always, like I said, she is so manipulative, and she's always trying to think and stay 10 steps ahead of everyone so that she can figure out how she can use them and con them. And so what she did was, when I told her, that I didn't think I could, handle it and do it, she says, well, I want you to call Mike Stanfield's office, and I'm going to be on the other line, like a 3-way or whatever. And she was like, I promise I won't say anything, but I want you to ask him if he served me, and if not, why or whatever. And so I was like, okay. So we call him up, and he's, supposed to be quiet on there. And I tell him who I am. And he's like, well, can't really go into the details of the case or anything, with you and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, okay, well, can you just tell me, did you serve her? And he said, no. And I said, do you plan on serving her? And this was the day before. And he said, no. Then, of course, Fancy jumps on and starts screaming at him like a maniac. And then he starts yelling back.
See, if she had just pretended or acted like she didn't know about it, she wouldn't have had to do anything. Or it turns out it was a video call. I mean, they didn't even have to go. That's the most insane thing about it. So the road trip starts.
For my First Amendment rights, which is what we all thought this case was about.
Yeah.
You know, even, and Toddy has said that many times.
I'm sitting here beauty, that would be part of it, but I don't know if that's what she was. I don't know what she was saying. I didn't see those videos. I didn't see the chat. But I mean, as a
Neither did
beauty
we, no.
influencer, I could see somebody commenting on hair. But
She just said that she said I couldn't wear it because I was white.
The last comment that
I
I
hadn't.
They do talk a little bit about cultural appropriation and wig wearing.
Asked us where we were going. She said,
okay.
"Y'all going to Chillicothe?" And Fancy was like, "Yeah," you know. So she's thinking like, "Woo, maybe somebody knows me."
my time to shine.
Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, we are actually. We're, you know, Gypsy Rose Blanchard." And the lady's like, "No." She's like, "Well, I'm being sued by her for my First Amendment rights." Which is what we all thought this case was about.
Yeah.
You know, even and Toddy has said that many times.
I'm sitting here shaking my head. Yeah, I was in the I own it. I own it.
It happens.
I thought it
We all
too.
did, right? And so she tells her about the case, all this stuff, and this woman was like, "Well, I was in Chillicothe for a while." So this woman, our waitress, had been an ex-inmate.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I guess there was who is up there? Her name's Diane something that's famous.
Oh,
Diane.
yeah.
Diane Downs.
If you hadn't said it, I would have been able to tell you.
Well, she was talking about her, like, gosh, what is her name? Diane Cuddy, Diane something.
She's got a daughter that's in with her.
No,
I don't know, but she was saying, the waitress was saying she was in there when Diane was in there or whatever, and I guess she was pretty famous, but yeah, she did. She introduced herself and went through the whole big spiel and all that stuff about who she was and what she was up there for, and the waitress was like, "I don't know who you are. I don't know who Gypsy is."
Care.
I want to know how much was left as a tip.
I do not know.
So then they were talking about because Fancy made it seem to all of us that, creators were going to start getting sued by Gypsy Rose. But it wasn't that at all. It was that she had her medical records and she signed something saying that, she wouldn't release them, and she released them. So, I mean, that's why she's being sued. It's not being sued just to be sued. And then Sarah goes over and talks about the incident with the lawyer when she walked over and, the pushing incident that didn't happen. And, I guess she was really sick during this whole trip. She doesn't talk about the dog. Toddy wants her to talk about the dog, but for whatever reason, they didn't talk about the dog. I'm like, talk about the dog. I want to know more about the dog, but we didn't get to hear about the dog. But there's a whole lot more, 3 hours and 35 minutes. If you're wanting to do a little deep dive on all the drama that went down with Fancy and I guess they call her Pink Hat Sarah. So, okay, so let's keep going. We're going to next move on to the Watts family murders in the early hours of August 13th, 2018 in Frederick, Colorado. Christopher Lee Watts, born May 16, 1985, murdered his pregnant wife, Shanann, and his 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste. And also, because Shanann was pregnant, unalived their son, Nico, which they were going to name him Nico. Not a whole lot of update on this case. Oops, wrong one. Not a lot of updates on this case. I did go in to look at the house because the house had sold. Remember, it had sold, and then the new family, the Miller family, had gotten into that whole domestic issue. And so the Millers sold the house, and the house was bought at a huge discount. We did go over it. Let me make sure you're seeing the right tab. We did go over it quickly. It was sold. We've read this article. I'll put the link in the show notes, or I'll try to put it in a card somewhere. But it made me think about, somebody mentioned xoxo, and I wanted to take a look at, I was going to take a look at his video, but his video was doing what I did. I read the article. So I decided to, instead of doing that, I've always been really interested in the mysterious woman spotted twice in one night missing video. I've always wondered, like, remember in September, supposedly it was supposed to be Nicole Kessinger, the mistress, that, you know, there's this dark shadow and it went along the Watts' house and then disappeared in the house. And then later that night, lights were left on or something like that. And I always wondered, like, well, and it was supposed to be called in because the neighbors saw this mysterious shadow. And I'm like, why haven't we seen the shadow? So I thought we'd take a look at this video. I've not watched it yet. It could be nothing. It could be something amazing. Let's take a look at it.
What's up, guys? It's your boy xoxo back out with some more of the Chris Watts videos. And I came across this video of the September lady, is what they call it. The day where a woman, or I should say a woman, was seen.
Which dogs? Sarah Boone's dogs or the Watts dogs?
A few times by some individuals. I don't know why we can't know who they are, but this woman didn't just come once at the place, or the Saratoga house, and what it's called is the Watts house. This lady was there twice, once during the afternoon and then during the nighttime. Sandy had gotten a message on her phone that said the back door was...
Speaking of Sandy, have you guys seen that Sandy has been posting a ton of new food videos, and I think she has a cookbook coming out? Super excited for all of this. Super excited. Want to do a true crime cooking show anyway. So I will be for sure getting that video or that book and trying some recipes.
Open. And then the other time, it was the front door that was open. Who is this woman? Why did she come there twice? And what was she looking for, or what was she doing? We're going to look at both of these right here, right now. So before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon. Down at the bottom right, hit that bell icon next to it. So when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification. That's xoxo myself has posted that video. And then you guys can watch, comment, like, and... The back door was apparently messed with. The second time, there was a woman seen going into the location. Could this be Nicole? Some people were thinking it was the ghost of Shanann. I don't know about that one.
I don't think it's the ghost of Shanann. I think it's Nicole. I had heard she was trying to retrieve her bag because her bag had been left there one of the times that she had been, whisked into the garage.
But let's continue and listen further, because the lights were turned on by themselves. Nobody was home. Chris was in prison. The Ruseks were back in North Carolina. So who was messing with the lights?
Windows locked when we exited. Nothing further. Officer K, lines 989, Frederick Police Department. On September 21, 2018 at about 18:05 hours, a Sergeant Manley was advised by Weld County Dispatch of a suspicious incident at 2825 Saratoga Trail within town limits of Frederick, Colorado. I was advised that the RP, Sandy, stated that she got a text message from an unknown number, and the text stated that the back door to 2825 Trail was open. Sandy said that there should not be anyone in or near the house at this time. I arrived at the house with Officer Lines. We walked up to the front of the house and tried to open the front door. The door was secure. I looked through the windows on both sides of the door and did not see anything out of place or any sign that someone had made entry into the house.
What about the Vivint system?
Officer Lines and I walked around the front of the house to access the gate to the backyard. I tried to pick up on both garage doors to ensure they were still secure. As we walked around the house, I was looking at all windows and screens. I did not see anything out of place or that would indicate that someone gained access to the house from the windows. We walked around the back of the house. I noticed that on the back door that the screen door was slid open. I walked up the steps and observed that the door was closed and that there was a security bar in place preventing anyone from entering through the door. The curtains were in place and did not seem disrupted.
But did somebody go in there and put that security door down, or was it already there?
After looking to see that all windows and doors appeared secure in the back of the house, we
That's
walked
what
back.
I've always wondered about the back security, those sliding doors. How do you lock this? I mean, I have heard that somebody probably that they locked the back door and then went out the window that had the Mickey Mouse thing on it in the basement. I've heard that too.
Back up front. As I was walking by the garage, I noticed that the garage lights were on. I did not recall that the lights were on when I walked up the first time. The house appeared secure at this time and I did not see any indication that someone had been in or around the house. Officer lines and I cleared without incident. At about 1951 hours I was contacted by dispatch again. I was told a Frank Rusek called in stating that he spoke to the neighbor Nate. According to Frank, Nate stated that the garage lights were still on and they had not been on in the days past. I responded back to the address and spoke with Nate. He was able to show me video from his Xfinity home security system on his phone. He showed me that a female walked up to the house at about 0900 hours.
Why can't we see the footage?
Why? I want to see the footage. Nate, do us a solid and show us the footage.
Walking up to the front door. There is no video of the female leaving the area, and shortly after there is a black SUV that is seen passing the house slowly. Nate was...
What I heard was that it was Nicole Kessinger and one of her friends. The friend let her out. She slinked up into the house. She had left a duffel bag full of her stuff, and I don't know, had gotten it out and then left. That's what I heard. I don't know.
Was able to show me 3 different videos showing the black SUV going slow by the house shortly after the female was seen walking to the front door. I did not see anyone leave the vehicle and approach the house and did not see anyone come from the house and get into the vehicle. I was able to use a ladder that Nate provided and looked into the top windows of the garage. I did not see anything that indicated anyone was in the garage and it did not appear that anyone went through anything in there. Nate explained that he had spoken with other neighbors in the area and they also had not seen any lights on in the garage in the last few days. While I was looking in the windows, I pushed on the garage sounding an alarm. I spoke to Frankie by phone. He told me that he did not think the lights should have been on either. I told him about the alarm and he
Somebody turned on the lights.
stated that he did not think the alarm was set when he left the residence a few weeks prior. He asked if we would clear the house and make sure that no one was in the house.
What if Chris gave Nicole the PIN code for the front door?
Oh, for sure he gave her the PIN code for the front door. For sure.
They provided me with a door code for the front door. I explained that I would get a few more officers at the house and we would make sure there was no one there.
I mean, Leave Jim Alone probably had the code to the front door.
She went in, but never
Officer
left.
Lines, Officer Perez, Frederick Police Department, Dacono Officer Cooksey, and Dacono Officer Fratelli arrived on scene. With the image of the party walking up to the door and not seeing anyone leaving the house and the lights on in the garage, I wanted to make sure we cleared the house as safely as possible. All 5 of us walked up to the front door. I put in the door code and unlocked the front door. I opened the door and made several announcements. Frederick Police. Anyone in the house? Frederick Police. If you're in the house, make yourself known. I did not hear or see anything in the house. I made those announcements several times while we worked through the house, clearing room by room. We did not locate anyone in the house and did not observe anything out of place or something that was obviously missing. We checked all cabinets and closets along with rooms.
Did you check the attic?
As we left the house, the garage lights were turned off and all of the lights we turned on while searching the house were turned off as we left the residence. I was able to secure the front door to the house and check to make sure the door was locked. I spoke with Nate again and advised him that there was no one in the house and that if he...
So why can't we see that footage of that woman coming up from the black SUV?
Because they love to do this kind of BS to us, don't they, Zoki? They just leave us hanging.
Into the house.
Would be able to look at his cameras again and see if he could see when the female left the area and if there was a vehicle associated. As on the 22nd of September 2018, I had not heard from Nate. I was wearing a
Hi, Lexi.
body camera during this time. The audio and video recording have been added to this report. End of report. Sergeant B. Manley, number 974, Frederick Police Department.
This is at 9:20. This says 9:22, not 9:21. So this was the day after?
If it was 9:22, it would be the day after.
The drapes appear closed on the back side.
Would it happen that night and then the day after?
See if I make it aware.
The lights are back on the day after. I feel like I'm talking to him, but I'm not talking to him.
Oh, I wish that tree was not in the way.
Else when they're doing reaction videos or you're watching something, you think you're literally having the conversation with them, like Diane Downs. It's Downs. It's Downs. It's Downs.
I'm looking to see anything wrong, if there is. Which I highly doubt there's anything different, but
No, it actually isn't Diane Downs. Didn't know how to spell Chillicothe. You just saw my huge error there. But yeah, Diane Downs is actually in California. So I don't know who the Diane was that was in Gypsy Rose's jail with her, that was prison that was popular.
okay, there's latched.
I remember this video and seeing it was latched.
Security bars in place too.
But that's open. So somebody could have messed with it.
Did we just watch him? I was busy, but see how we watched him go down this center right here, this gravel rock center. I had heard that not this.
I'm looking
one
to see anything
right
wrong.
here, but this window right here. I've heard that that's how they came out. They came out here and then went into the back.
There is.
I don't know if it's true.
Which I highly doubt there's anything different, but
There, they came up through in here, and then went all over the front back here, and then the vehicle was waiting back here. I've heard that. So, what do you guys think? Are you interested in me covering this a little bit more about? I am very interested about the house. I've said it before. The house fascinates me, and I bet the Richocks are so happy to have that house out from underneath them.
so they had checked it twice for two different incidences the same day.
Redwood Police Department, anybody in the house?
Who do you think this woman is that was coming into the house? Do you think it was Nicole Kessinger looking for something and couldn't seem to find it, so it kept coming back, or the police kept getting called, so she had to leave? What do you guys think? Or do you think she was even maybe in the house during one of these searches? That's scary.
Police Department, anybody in the house, make yourself known.
I know a lot of us have seen this already before, but we're going to watch it anyways for those.
Police Department, anybody in the house?
For those that may have not seen it.
This is the one that I think most of us have seen.
What's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, we've all wasted 15 minutes.
I used to fall asleep to this stuff.
Somebody says that they saw a kid up here, but I don't
people
necessarily think that.
Done the paranormal, they say they see a child up.
For those that they saw a kid up here.
Right up in here, but it's the play of shadows on the rungs of the staircase.
But I don't necessarily think that. There is something weird in that chair sitting at that table.
Come out.
I want to see. So blind is closed. Blind is closed.
Pushing up, bro.
Because I mean, she probably even would have known places to hide in this house. She could have crawled up in the laundry crawl space and just been hanging out up there. Waited for them and then left.
connecting door. All right, connecting door.
Trying to see anything. Move your arm, dude. There's the limit system.
Okay, did you guys get this closet? Ready?
So they just go through and they search the whole house and they don't find anything. So the woman in black repeatedly came to the Watts house. Who do you think it was? Why do you think the woman in black was coming to the Watts house in September? If anyone has any inside information, let me know. Let's keep going. So the new case that we're going to cover tonight is Madeline Soto. She was a 13-year-old girl who was found unalived in a wooded area in Florida. Her disappearance prompted the arrest of her mother's boyfriend. I do like to cover Florida cases since I'm in Florida. I also like to cover Michigan cases because I'm from Michigan too. But so we're going to start looking at the Maddie Soto case a little bit more because it's going to be going to court pretty soon. So I thought we would take a look at an update on where the case stands now.
What's going on?
So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it.
The search for missing teenager Maddie Soto sadly turned into a homicide investigation. I take a look at everything we know about the case and when the man accused of taking her life is set to go on trial. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy.
It's been a long time. We've only taken a look at this case once, so I thought it would be good to get a good update on this case because I'm a little bit behind on it. It's a hard case for me to follow because he stole her soul from her. This man abused this young girl, and this is what P's do. They steal children's souls and their energy, and it's hard for me to watch cases where a child has been systematically abused for long periods of time and tore down. It's really hard on my soul.
Maddie Soto's disappearance and what would end up being her murder has touched so many people. Maddie should still be here. She had just celebrated her 13th birthday in February with a...
Hi, Victoria. I'm okay. How are you? It's okay. I'm covering a lot of cases tonight. So, and I'm also going to start experimenting with place marks so that when you come to my lives and videos, you can just jump to you can skip the intros, just jump to the place mark that you want to. But I don't have that set up yet. But we're covering 4 cases tonight, and we're on our 4th and final, the Maddie Soto case.
Party at her grandparents' home. The photos of her show a girl who appears to be happy, but we would later find out her life was filled with sadness. Kissimmee police would later reveal in investigative reports that Maddie was being sexually abused for years. Detectives would write that the abuse was taking place at the hands of a man that Maddie's mother, Jen Soto, was dating. His name, Stephen Stearns. The allegations are disturbing. And at this point, Stephen Stearns has pleaded not guilty to sexually abusing Maddie Soto and murdering her.
I find it really disturbing that nothing's happened to the mother yet. I find that so disturbing.
Police said they found more than 1,700 images of Stearns molesting Maddie on a Google Drive connected to his cell phone. Much of the investigation into Maddie's disappearance was captured by body-worn cameras and police recorded audio of interviews. Let's take a look back at the case from the very beginning. Maddie's mom, Jen Soto, reported her missing on the evening of February 25th after she went to pick up Maddie from school, and she didn't come out.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. I went to pick her up from school.
I'm sorry, one second.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Are we looking for another kid or we have a kid?
Looking for another one.
Both of them.
All right, so people are still on the scene. Let's put that out in the hospital location. How long?
I'm trying to get there right now. Okay. So she was supposed to be dropped off at school. Didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today,
Okay.
and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office.
Mhm.
I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either.
Okay.
So she never made it.
Okay. What's her name?
Madeline. Madeline.
Madelini. Last name?
Soto. Soto.
Soto.
Yeah.
Now, you saw Jen Soto there with Stephen Stearns in the background saying she got a notification from Maddie's school saying Maddie didn't show up. Soto said she reached out to Maddie's teacher, too. There have always been a lot of questions about what the school did or didn't do when Maddie didn't show up for school. The conversation between the deputy and Jen Soto continued.
What's the name of the single lady?
Madeline Soto, age 13. I'm trying to get a clothing description now. What was she last seen wearing?
They both are. She is so emotionless, and he right here is trying to appear emotionless. It's crazy. Look at these women back here. Look how worried they look compared to how worried these two look. And these are I don't even know if they're probably just women in the services.
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts?
Yeah.
Black shorts. Okay. Black shorts. All right. Do you know if she has like friends in the area?
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where she lives. Okay.
I asked all of them.
Okay.
An interesting note about that clip. Stephen Stearns knew what Maddie was wearing. Not a big surprise since
She's so calm. Like when I get upset, I can't breathe. I can't talk. She's just so freaking calm.
he would later tell law enforcement
putting rational thoughts into the irrational once again.
That he took Maddie to school that morning, but dropped her off at a church. Deputies tried to get more information about Maddie in these critical first moments of the missing persons investigation.
Well,
is this like,
know, well, I believe he did it. So we know he is trying to appear innocent here. So he's working on something. I don't know what she's working on because I'm just diving back into the case. But I know what he's working on, and he's working on trying to appear innocent. I don't know if she's working on trying to appear innocent or what she's working on. If she's just well, I mean, she's a truly messed up person sending her boyfriend to go sleep upstairs with her daughter. I mean, you know, that tells somebody's got a screw loose right there.
Have any places that you guys know that she would usually be at? Any friend's house? Any places that like she likes to hang out?
Not typically, no.
Not typically? No. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me see if I get some.
Thank you.
No problem. And what school she goes to?
Oh, okay. So the lady in the back is the grandmother. Gotcha. I mean, she looks more worried than yeah. But that happened with that Leilani case too, didn't it? The grandmother was out freaking out, and the Leilani was just, I can't think of that case, but I remember the mother was sitting out on the lawn yelling at the protesters, more upset than Leilani was.
Hunter's Creek Middle? All right, cool. 125. Do you have a picture of her? Can you airdrop it to me?
Yeah, I know. Let me see which picture. I don't know which picture.
Okay, recently, probably from the birthday party, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't there, so I have to look at.
He's like froze. He says froze. Like if I don't move, maybe they won't suspect me. He hasn't unwrapped his hands.
Go ahead. That's what I'm about to grab right now.
Moved.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you.
Is this a good enough picture, or do you need a whole
Yeah,
body
that's
picture?
Ah!
I got you. Okay, where's the photo? Right there.
It's on WhatsApp.
That's fine. Let me see.
I saved it on my photos, so you could.
You saved it to your photos?
Yeah, because
Perfect.
Is that her phone that he's messing with?
Okay, perfect. Give me a second. Okay. I'm going to send it out right now to my other guys.
Thank you very much.
The cases I cover each day here on Crime Fix show you just how scary the world can be. And one of the scariest things that can happen is that morning.
Was it here?
I can't remember the exact spot, but it was around where the communities were. Oh, thank you. So it's like around where these communities were.
Okay.
And it's just like in this stretch, like we could see the overpass down there.
Where's the school?
Other side of the overpass.
So somewhere around here.
So yeah, somewhere, maybe not this one, but the next one possibly is right in this stretch. And we just came down and we drove about halfway down. She was like, that's good right here.
Okay.
On the second floor.
It was all hands on deck. Canines tried to find Maddie's scent.
Hold on, buddy. I gotta fix it. Let's fix your lead. Hold on. You're gonna fix it. I know. Whenever I open the door, he wants to jump out.
Can you see?
You're stinky. Hold on, dude. I'm gonna get the scent off. Hold on, son. Sniff ya. So I'm gonna, no, you're not going in there. I'm gonna introduce it to him, but I'm gonna drop the bag on the floor if you want to pick it up again, just in case I have to like reintroduce it to him.
Okay.
Sorry.
The day after those body-worn camera videos were taken, Stearns spoke with detectives at length. They locked him into a story about what happened that morning, what he did, and why.
Woke up around 7:15, somewhere around there, which is an early start for us, but we had talked about getting McDonald's breakfast beforehand, so we want to make good time. We did make good time. We got out the door maybe 7:30, 7:45-ish maybe. Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time, just snoozing until we got there. We got to McDonald's. We're close to McDonald's. I said, "You still want it?" She wasn't interested in the McDonald's anymore, so we continued on.
Stearns then told detectives about dropping off Maddie.
I mean, what kid gets to McDonald's on their way to school and says, "Nah, I don't want it anymore"? That would have been a red flag right there.
And why he didn't take her directly to school.
She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of in front of the school. She prefers her mom's car, but my cars are, I guess, kind of hoopties. I get it. It's an image thing. But that was sometime probably between 8:20 and 8:40-ish, somewhere in there. It was along the stretch of the road that on the right side that has all the communities before you get to the overpass. You could see the overpass from where it was. So it was on that side in that stretch of road, and that's where I dropped her off. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to find them and hang out and wait for her friends. And I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, "Yeah, it's fine. Kids get dropped off early enough as it is. So it's not totally unusual for that to happen. It's just not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her." I said, "Okay. Let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too." And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where she was supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something like that. But I found out later that she forgot her phone here, so she may be rummaging for her phone. But she was still kind of making her way towards that direction, so it looked okay. It looked like any other day. And I just continued on.
One thing that investigators always found odd in this case, Stephen Stearns said that he and Maddie, they just happened to leave their phones at the condo that morning when he claimed that he dropped her off at school. This is how he explained that.
Is it normal for her to not have her phone?
Unfortunately, she's severely ADHD, as am I and her mother. So it is not uncommon at all, and that very, very usual thing for her to forget things. She'd forget her head if it wasn't screwed up. And we're forgetful about, writing her about that. We'll remind her, and then it will leave our mind, and she'll say, okay, and then it will leave her mind.
Because teenagers always forget their phones. I mean, their phones that are glued at their hips, because they always, their ADHD makes them forget those kind of things.
Is she on medication for this stuff?
Normally, yes. She's been staying with her grandparents a lot this week while her mom was working. So she has not been getting her meds a lot. Okay. So she was really spacing.
Where's mom working? What changed in her hours that she needs all this thing?
She's training, so it's not a set schedule yet.
Okay.
Within days, Stearns was placed under arrest. He would later be charged with more than 60 sex crimes related to Maddie. The sheriff of Orange County said then that Stearns was the prime suspect.
He can't be having a good go of it in jail, and it's going to be even worse for him in prison. I mean, I don't really expect him to live.
In Maddie's disappearance.
It's our belief that she was killed in Kissimmee and that he moved her body.
Sheriff Mina said back when Stearns was first taken into custody that he believed Maddie was dead when Stearns left the apartment complex with her that morning.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephen Stearns moved her body.
So he strapped a unalived body into the seatbelts. That's like, wow.
Body in the early morning hours on that day. We have video evidence that shows Stephen Stearns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephen Stearns returning to the complex and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time.
The arrest of Stephen Stearns came after this exchange with detectives where they confronted him about his cell phone, which he claims to have accidentally factory reset the day that Maddie disappeared.
And from what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. You did, okay. And you voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring it here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay. What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages. Emails.
Pictures?
Yeah.
What kind of pictures were on
there? Training card pictures, lightsaber pictures, Disney pictures.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and.
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google.
Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's your phone, and I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person, and I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying? So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
I don't know. Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
I can't answer that question. My sole purpose right now is to see if I can find, and I'm really hoping you can help me.
Okay, well, I'd like to try to help, but I feel like I should probably have a lawyer present at this point.
So you want an attorney?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That can happen. I want to let you know you're not free to leave. You're being detained, okay? Do you want to know what you're being detained for?
Yeah.
Capital sexual battery and possession of child pornography.
Okay.
So you're going to step out. If you need anything, please tap on this door, okay? And there's going to be detectives outside that will be able to assist you.
Okay.
Detectives had also confronted Jen Soto about allowing her daughter to sleep in the same bed with Stephen Stearns.
This makes me so mad.
Like, you want to watch movies and eat snacks? Can we do that? I'm like, no. We can all watch movies down here together. We can all sleep down here together. Up until June, together all the time. So we were always. She would sleep in the middle. I would sleep on this side.
Why
on the
would
other
you
side.
sleep in the middle?
It wasn't until June that he got into his own bedroom and I sent him upstairs. That's where the requests for sleepover started. And I kept telling her no. I'm not comfortable with that. But eventually at some point, like we really want to watch, I forgot what movie it was. They really wanted to watch something and I was really tired. And I said, okay, fine. Go ahead, but this can't happen often. But honestly, I think I can count on one hand how many times.
Why did it happen at all? And if it was like not a big deal. Why couldn't it happen? You obviously knew something.
That's happened, and it hasn't been many times that I've allowed her to have a supper party with him, to be alone in a bed with him. I'm usually around all the time.
Detectives also pressed Jen Soto about their concern that she might be covering for Stearns, or that she might know more than she was saying about her daughter's disappearance.
But outside of you reporting her missing, and I may be wrong, I haven't been involved in all aspects of it, but you have not shown me one bit that you prioritize her over him. And that sucks. Not because we're working our asses off for your family, not because we have people out there sweating their asses off for your family, but because I feel like all I care about is your care is to make sure Stefan doesn't get held accountable.
I don't care anymore.
Because I'm not being nice.
No.
But up until Thursday, it was okay that she gave him no big deal. Get a lawyer.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't okay. I saw that and I was in shock. And I don't know why my first reaction was to tell him to get a lawyer, but I saw that and I was in shock and I was just like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe.
It's easy to believe it now. We showed you pictures of it. You can't deny it anymore. The sex is okay. The murder's not. At least that makes sense.
Yeah. The sex is okay, or the X is okay, but the murder's not. I mean, at this point, trying to cover her own butt. And look, I just noticed this plant over here. This poor little plant.
I want to know what it is, and not because I think you're a bad parent. Not because I think you're a bad. Dead or alive, she's missing. Her body is out there. Her body needs to be recovered so she can have a proper burial, a proper funeral. She needs to be laid to rest. Your family needs to be able to mourn.
This is what's making her upset. Not the fact that her daughter is gone and unalive, but the fact that this man is.
And we need that information. That is life. That is not life of the law. That's not life of the sheriff's office. That is common decency. That is what she deserves. That is what you deserve. That is what your family deserves.
Jen Soto has never been charged with a crime related to Maddie Soto's death or disappearance. I want to be very clear about that. And the state attorney's office has told me in statements in the past that the evidence shows that one person at this point is responsible for Maddie's death, and that person is Stefan Stearns. Shortly after,
should she be arrested for like not protecting her daughter? Why can't that be a crime?
After that interview on March 1st, Maddie's body was found on a farm property thanks to a tip from someone who saw a person matching Stearns' description changing a flat tire the day that Maddie went missing. Stearns was charged with murdering Maddie more than a month later. So many disturbing details have emerged since Stearns' arrest. Documents revealed that Maddie was strangled, and that investigators say they have surveillance video showing Stearns moving Maddie's body from the front seat of his silver Lincoln to the trunk in a parking garage of a hotel that morning that she disappeared. Investigators found Maddie's backpack and one of her white Crocs in a trash compactor. Also, there are suspicions that Maddie may have been pregnant. There also has been discussion about Maddie texting about two sides of a coin. In documents, Maddie's name is redacted, but we know from other investigative documents that she and Stefan Stearns were texting about this coin and not her mom. Detectives wrote, on 12/16/2023 at 00:47 hours, Madeline sends a text message to Stefan that contained a photograph of two coins. The coins had the inscription of New Parent Decision Coin and appeared to be from Amazon.com. Madeline sends two follow-up texts to Stefan stating, we need this and get it for us, please. A search of Amazon for these coins revealed these coins are for new parents, where one can flip a coin to decide if it is the mother's or father's time to complete a task for a newborn. Due to the fact that this conversation was not near Father's Day or Mother's Day, leads one to believe Madeline and Stefan had possibly spoken about conceiving a child. If this indicates that Maddie was pregnant or thought she was pregnant or was thinking about becoming pregnant in the future, it's a major issue in this case. Maddie was a kid. She was 12 when she sent this text, and there has been speculation that she may have been pregnant since she had possibly missed her menstrual cycle that month. We still don't know if that's true. Those coins look like this on the Amazon website. Stearns' trial on those sex crimes charges is scheduled for February. His trial for Maddie's murder is scheduled to begin in September of 2025. He's been in jail since his arrest, and he has pleaded not guilty. That's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me.
And so this will be one of the cases that we do follow. Since I did look it up, I think it's in Orlando. It will be one of the ones that I try to attend in person so that you guys can get a closer look at what's happening in the trial. The thing that I don't understand the most about this Maddie Soto case is why isn't the mother being held responsible for it? And it makes me really angry. I went over to Reddit to see if anybody else was like, what is up with Jen Soto? And here I see, hey, everybody, I've been following this case right from the beginning, along with all, rest in peace, Maddie, I have been certain all along of Jen's involvement, either complicit, hiding info, or help the POS and everything. But surely she would have been charged by now. It's been there and still nothing. But regarding Jen Soto, very, very strange. I'm starting to lose hope. Maybe she really did have nothing to do, as hard as this is to believe, but no charges. And this person says detectives did a wonderful job from the beginning. They knew from the rip that S did this. They found her quickly. I don't think his plan was to put Maddie where he did. He only put her there because of the tire, and he was scared shitless to have her in the vehicle while changing that tire, in fear some kind soul would stop to help. I'm a little confused as to what Jen is getting immunity for. What did she lie about that she isn't getting charged for, and why? I know all my moms on here are thinking, how could she know this was happening? How did she not see or feel the difference in her daughter while in his presence? Why was Maddie so uncomfortable not being able to speak freely to her mom about what was happening to her? My daughter had the most uncomfortable conversations with me. Well, see, not every daughter feels comfortable. I couldn't have conversations with my mom at all. We just didn't have conversations. So when you don't have ongoing conversations from the beginning with your daughters, when the big things start happening, they're not going to come to you and have comfortable conversations all of a sudden. So I don't think, if anything, the mother kept her head in the sand. The woman should at least be charged with neglect. Sending any child to sleep in a room with an adult is disgusting, especially an adult man, and in the same bed. Jeez, a man that she says has weird sexual kinks. What happened in that room that night? What did Maddie finally say? The little girl was growing up and she realized how awful that monster was. I think she scared the shit out of him. She didn't want to do that anymore, and she probably threatened him, or she said she was pregnant. This has to stop, and if it doesn't, I'm going to tell. For some reason, us thought the only way out was this. What happened that night? What changed? Don't lose heart. The way the justice system works is that you have to have enough solid evidence in your affidavit. I think they're using her to testify against Steven Stearns. Like, I don't think they're going to charge her. I think they're saying either you testify or we'll charge you. She's probably getting one of those deals. But anyway, I've lost faith in the justice system. So the way the justice system works is that it fails. That you have to have enough solid evidence in your affidavit to get a judge to sign off on an arrest. Once that happens, the clock starts ticking very quickly for the prosecution. The right to a speedy trial is a fundamental right, so everyone from LE to the prosecution needs to be pretty well ready to roll at that point. Stephen Stearns, is it Stephen or Stephen? Was arrested immediately because there is an I don't know how to say that. Tsunami of physical evidence against him, most of which he provided himself by documenting the horrors he perpetrated on that sweet girl. It can take weeks, months, years sometimes to gather enough evidence when a case is mostly circumstantial, like in Jen's case, as far as we know. I'm completely confident LE are actively gathering a case against her. I'm glad this person's confident. You can hear it in the interrogations voices. Yeah, but I don't want to do a yeah, but. When they respond to her BS, one even wrote down in his report that her emotional tone seemed inauthentic. Well, yeah, it sounded like a child, like, I didn't do it. They had her number right away. They just need to make sure that they've got a rock solid case, because you can't be a person twice for the same. You can't try a person twice for the same charges. Rest assured, they are continuing to investigate and gather everything they need to make the charges stick. What do you guys think? Do you have faith in our system? Do you think they're out there gathering and plotting and planning against Jen Soto? I don't. I think they've got her right in their pocket, and she's going to testify and put the nail in Stephen Stern. And I bet you Stephen or Steven, I don't know. Now I'm starting to second guess myself. SS, the Stern dude, he's probably going to get the death penalty. So, and that's what they're probably wanting to go for. And he deserves it if he did that to her. So, I don't think people who sexually abuse children should ever get out. I don't think they deserve second chances. I think it's one of those sick diseases, and you steal their soul. Doesn't matter if you take their life, you're still stealing their soul, and you're going to do it to another child, and you're going to just gather souls and energy, and it's sick. It is. It's one of the things that I just cannot. Anyway, so, and I don't even believe in the death penalty, but if he gets it, so be it. So anyway, that's all I have for tonight. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that is all I have for tonight, you guys. Whenever I do shows where I do more than one case, they never do as well for some reason. So if you guys could help me out and give this live a thumbs up, be sure to share it. I will be breaking this live down into videos. So, it'll present as a Gypsy Rose video, a Sarah Boone video, so that, and I do that with a lot of the videos. I cut out the ands and the ums and me talking to the chat. And I didn't do it this week because my computer was out on the fritz, and I still wanted to get some stuff out for you. But we've got more content coming for you, more collaborations. Got my studio half put together. Going to be back in front of camera, so you're going to be seeing my shining face again pretty soon. And we're going to be traveling to locations. And yeah, I'm feeling really positive, and we're growing, and I'm super excited. Thank you, Victoria, for stopping by. Have a good Friday night. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. It's good to see you. Okay, guys. So yeah, so I've got a lot of cool things planned, and we're going to continue to grow. But I couldn't do it without you guys, and you guys mean a lot to me. And if nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm going to tell you this. I love you guys so, so much, and I'm so grateful for you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never ask why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly. Deep in the heart